Hey guys, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your weekly tarot reading for May 25th through the 31st of 2020. So we're back, and do be sure to check out your June 2020 readings. Those are going up as quickly as I possibly can do them. And happy birthday to all of my Geminis. It is now officially Gemini season. So stick around at the end, guys. I have some announcements like why I can't get into Instagram and why I haven't done my weeklies last week and why I wasn't able to do the May monthlies. So stick around at the end for those announcements. But let's get right into the astrology here. So a lot has happened astrologically, right? We can all feel that, right? Because of last week. We had 3 major outer planets go retrograde. So with Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, all of these outer planets that are retrograding, they actually retrograde much slower because they are such large outer planets. So this is actually going to feel a lot similar to how we felt in January. And the reason for that is there's going to be possibly this return of an influence that was similar to that that happened at the outbreak actually of COVID-19 in January. So this is when Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all aligned on January 12th, kind of signifying the real beginning of the outbreak and the beginning of this whole COVID-19 situation. So I'll be interested to see at what this kind of energy brings up, especially, beginning this week and moving forward. We're just gonna have to keep an eye on it to make sure, we're not going into some type of second wave of it or something else. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this and see where it's going. The only other really big thing astrologically that's happening is Thursday, May 28th, we have Mercury moving into Cancer. And later in June, it will be retrograding in Cancer. So watch out for that. It's gonna hit its pre-shadow June 2nd. All right, and with that, that's all the astrology for this week. So we're gonna get right into the reading now. Alrighty, Aquarians. So we're using the Morgan Greer, and we're going to take a look at May 25th through the 31st for you guys. See what the tarot has to say for this coming week for you. All right, let's see. Let's go with what we've got. We might need to pull some clarifiers here and there because your messages are pretty interesting this week. So your focus and theme this week here is actually the 2 of Cups reversed. That was the first card out. And for me, this feels like we're focusing on areas where we've had false love, where we've had a misunderstanding and a misinterpretation of either a relationship or our relationship to something. We might have come into this with love. We might have come into this with true appreciation and grateful energy. Again, it doesn't always have to do with a love relationship. This could be your relationship to a job, a relationship in terms of a friendship to somebody with you, or it could even just be an idea, a goal that you've had that you no longer feel in love with. You don't feel like you can understand it anymore. And again, that doesn't have to be a relationship, but it can also be one in the fact because I feel like I'm talking weird and Mercury is not retrograde yet, but there's enough retrograde, so maybe that's it. But the 8 of Cups reverse comes up after it. And I feel, sometimes I don't feel a lot of power with reversals, but I feel that there were reversal cards for you this week versus the upright cards. They both have a lot of powerful messages that we do need to heed. So I'm going to take the reversals this week here. And and as I usually do, honestly, but the 8 of Cups reverse for me is kind of, with the 2 of Cups reverse, we're having a hard time moving on, maybe for some of you, from a relationship or our relationship again to something that we once loved, and we're focusing on, I really want to make that work, or I wish I could fix that. I wish I could stay in this. And a lot of you might be having a hard time leaving something that you have lost love for, that has lost its equality kind of appeal to it, emotional equality. You're putting in what you're getting out. So again, if you find, let me add a sip of coffee here. And again, I feel that this is you working through some toxic attachments of things that you have a hard time leaving. And I feel that you guys have been at war with this for a while, but I don't see there not being a breakthrough. This does require some work, yes. I mean, that's literally in your advice here. And I mean, just look at all of these cards. Yes, this requires work this week, and that is your advice. That is your guidance to keep trucking through this, even though it could be hard. You are turning things on their head here. You're turning the toxic situations, attachments, your bad behaviors. You're seeing a relationship that has lost, again, its love, whether that be love or a career. And I feel like it's one of those two, or maybe a goal that we've had here. And we're seeing it in a different perspective because the Hanged Man is here. It's saying you can't really move forward on this right now. There's not a lot of forward movement when we have, especially when we have all of these big planets in retrograde and Venus in retrograde right now. But it has you really needing to enter into that pause, to be okay with things not moving quickly, because right now you are seeing things the way you need to. You're seeing the devil situation. You're taking it and you're turning it on its head, because when the devil does show up reverse, I see you breaking free of those bonds. And you might be considering, you know, where those bonds are, how I'm breaking free of them, and what I really need to do. It just has you changing your perspective in a huge way this week here. And work and career actually don't look so bad, but I do feel that there's a sense of newness here. Maybe new goals. If you have realized that the goals that you've been living and working towards are not feeding you emotionally in the way that they used to. You're not happy. You're not in love with it. You're losing sight of the love that you once had for it. And it feels like you're putting a lot of energy, thought, love, care into this, and you're not getting anything in return. I don't mean just money, but just there's no emotional return. There's no pride in it, or there's no gratefulness, appreciation really for what you've put into this. So Ace of Rods and Four of Wands, I feel that for some of you, you're taking your creativity, you're taking your energy, and you're going to start heading towards a new direction, towards a new goal, towards what you now see as harmony versus what you used to. You know, this is really what I want. This kind of happiness, this is what I want my life to look like now. And I want to work towards that rather than where I was. I want to enjoy my work. I want opportunities that are going to give me really what I want emotionally, that are going to give me peace, that are going to give me the harmonious life that I crave, rather than maybe where I've been. And I mean, the Four of Cups came out. It didn't fall out yet, and I feel like it might come out if I pull some clarifiers, but I did see it behind a lot of these cards popping out with them. But it was reversed, and I do want to say, even though that card isn't here on the table, I do feel that we're moving out of that stagnation of, almost pulled the wrong deck there. We're moving out of that kind of stagnation of where we've been despondent, where we've been hesitant to make any moves moving forward, where we've been hesitant to resolve areas of inaction that we know have needed action. This is really taking forward, you know, towards new relationships, towards new paths with new energy, ideas, creativity. So I like this. It's like you're grabbing this energy by the horns and you're saying, let's start directing this where I really want it to go rather than where I have been. Love, I'm going to pull one more for love just because it is a bit, this week, love and relationship. And again, it's to be expected. We are in a Venus retrograde in Gemini. So things, especially communication-wise, and how we're seeing things really, and how we communicate, how we see things, are going to be off. And there's the Four of Cups. Like I said, I knew it was going to come out, and there it is. It was just waiting to show up in the love department. Four of Swords reversed, Justice card reversed with the first two out there. And like I said, the Four of Cups clarifies. When you get, there's just a sense of harshness, really, when you get the Knight of Swords reversed. There's harsh words being said, or it's even colder because you're not hearing anything. So regardless, there's a sense of this cutting a harshness here. And especially with the Justice card reversed. Again, the Hangman, you have a lot of really important cards here that are fighting some of these harder cards and harder combinations. And the Hangman needs you to look at this from a non-active point of view. It needs you to look at what you're perceiving as unjust, as unfair, as wrong, as hurtful, in terms of love and how you're communicating in love and how you're seeing, you know, how a relationship is. Again, you're going to feel like somebody has hurt you, wronged you, maybe at some point this week. You're going to just see things, I don't know, in a built-up, it feels like a built-up kind of way of, you know, this person doesn't appreciate me and they don't do what I do. And, you know, when the Justice card is reversed, though, it reminds you to take accountability for your actions here. It's not, you can't just point the finger and say this is all this person's fault. It has you needing to take accountability and to see things really for what they are. It does take two to tango. And again, for some of you, with that Two of Cups card reversed and the Eight of Cups reversed as your theme this week, you could be having a really hard time moving on from a relationship that just isn't equal and just isn't working. And again, it has to, maybe you're the one, maybe you're not the one who did all the hurt, who did a lot of the hurtful stuff. Maybe you have been putting a lot of effort in and you aren't receiving it, but you're just as accountable if you're staying in a situation where you're obviously unhappy, not appreciated, and you feel attacked. You feel a lot of coldness, I feel, whatever, in this relationship if you're in one. Or, you know, in a situation type of thing, which sometimes we get as well. But the Justice card brings up the need to counter this lack of balance here. Counter the lack of balance in your mind. And maybe it's going to be hard to work through this week. But again, I feel that's why your advice card comes out as this. You need to start looking, you know, we can't sit where we are. Especially not when the energy is like this. You have to do something about this. Or else you're going to continue to be dissatisfied. Continue to be unhappy. To continue to be unemotionally, you know, unfulfilled emotionally. I feel like I'm saying everything really weird. But it's a weird week. And again, with Venus in retrograde in Gemini, you're not communicating or receiving the information in relationships and about love in ways that are normal. And that, again, it'll make sense when it's all over. But right now it feels harsh and it feels hurtful. And we're taking things very personally, where I think it would help you to just confront some of these situations, to take accountability and to do something about it. Yeah, it might not really be your fault, but by staying in a situation that's obviously so emotionally draining on you and mentally draining on you, it is just hurting you in the long run. So it's time to have some conversations here. I'm going to pull a couple or one more here. Just because we have some tough energy in relationships, obviously, this week, and it's really hard for us to step away from. I mean, that's pretty obvious when you get that Eight of Cups reversed, the Justice card reversed, Knight of Swords reversed. We're not trying to make any big decisions, but there's a lot of emotional entanglement preventing you from making these decisions. And why are we not getting one that we need here? Okay. All right. Well, there we go. Two tens come out. 10 of Wands and 10 of Cups. So we need to release the burden here and let go. And it can be very hard because 10 of Cups is reversed. This might have been what you once, again, it doesn't always have to be a love relationship just because that's where it's showing up here in this reading. This might not have nothing to do with love for you guys this week. It might have something to do very much the line of work, with what you're doing, with your goals. But 10 of Wands reversed, 10 of Cups reversed is like the release of something that you really love, a relationship that you really had high hopes for and felt good about. And you know what I have to say to this? I kind of just feel this kind of saying for you, because again, it's Venus retrograde, so maybe the situation will resolve itself. But again, time heals all wounds, and if it's meant to be, it will come back to you, okay? So right now we might need to let something go, because really it's not worth staying where we are when we're so emotionally unhappy that it's affecting other areas of our life. Very obviously, it's creating a lot of toxic energy here, whatever this relationship is. Maybe it is love and career that you're working through this week in terms of letting go of what you're holding on to. Again, and being a fixed sign, it's hard to let things go. It's hard to just walk away from something you've put a lot into, put a lot of hope, dreams, effort, all of that into. But I think that you will feel a deep sense of relief as you walk away from something like this week. Let's pull a romance angel. Your cards are intense this week. I feel like you and Libra had some really longer readings, and that's okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. here we go. All right, it's getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves, your bond to each other, your bond deepens. And I'm going to pull Lynn V. Andrews. I know that they're a little bit longer to go through, but I just feel like you guys need a deep message for this reading. Like, sorry, half the deck just fell on the ground there. Cards are jumping. Okay, what's this? Popping out of the middle of the deck, we get this card. All right. Individuality. When the shield carrier reaches the top of the mountain, she never seeks approval because approval is based on doubt. Your strength and wisdom are celebrated in your unique ability to view the experience of life with new vision. Power lies in individuality and the ability to see yourself through your own eyes and not through the eyes of another. To be in power, you must take your power and exist within your own individuality. So, very deep messages this week, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, guys, do make sure to check out your monthlies. Do make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you do want to book a private reading, guys, all that information is always right below this video in the description box. Do check out Truly Divine for some really amazing astrology and numerology chart analysis. They do compatibility reports that just are incredible. So you can use my code Deku30 for 30% off of any purchase that you make with them. You can use it as many times as you want. You can send it to as many people that can also use it as many times as they want. So use that, guys. It's also in my description box. And so if you are trying to get in contact with me on Instagram right now, I don't know what's going on. I'm stuck in this verification loop and I cannot like get on for like even more than it's like crazy. I get on and then I'm off again, and then I have to go through all these crazy things because Instagram doesn't have support or help and is not responding to me. So this has been a really frustrating and difficult time. So if you're wondering again, why I'm not responding on Instagram, why I'm not posting anything, it's because I can't get on right now. I don't know what the heck is going on, and it'd be great if a interface with billions of users like Instagram had support and help that actually responded, but they don't. So it's frustrating. Also, I just wasn't able to do the weeklies last week because I was sick. I still haven't gotten my results back because that's Florida for you. It's been like over a week. They were like, we're going to get them back to you within 1 to 2 days. So who knows right now? And I'm feeling a lot better, obviously. So hopefully it wasn't that. But I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. Thank you again for all of your support, guys. Make sure to leave me a comment. Make sure to subscribe and have a blessed week. Namaste.